Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Burks, and I am co-founder and CEO of Partpic. Partpic is visual search for replacement parts, and hopefully we have a slide deck somewhere. Is it on?
Do you have it should be.
There we go. All right. Visual search for replacement parts, and our mission is to seamlessly facilitate the search and purchase of parts using computer vision technology. So we've assembled an all-star team to carry out this vision. I come from Google, at enterprise sales at Google, and sales management at McMaster-Carr. My co-founder led products at Shazam, the #1 mobile recognition company in the world, and prior to that was selling to Fortune 100s at Google. Our CTO is a computer vision and machine learning expert from Georgia Tech. Our CIO has spent the last 15 years building big data and infrastructure, most recently at Harris Corporation. And our most recent addition is also an expert in the area of machine learning and computer vision from Rice University. So we're stacked. So I want to tell you a little bit about how I got into this area of parts and understanding the pain around searching for parts. So while I was working as a sales manager at McMaster-Carr, I had a chance to get all the angry phone calls from our customers who we'd sent the wrong parts out to. And in that time, I recognized that they were spending about 6 hours per week trying to find the right parts and having trouble with that. And about 40% of the callers that we got did not have a part name or number to initiate their search. And for the industry, this led to $10 billion lost every year on return orders due to miscommunication in those initial phone calls. So with a deep understanding of the customer problem, I set out to create the solution, and that's Partpic. We allow a user to simply snap a photo of the part they're looking to find, and within seconds, our proprietary algorithms extract the key features from the part's image and tell the user exactly what that part is. And we can pick out information such as the thread count, the length, the width, the head type, etc. And in order to scale our database, we've actually partnered with a company called AVP Solutions that's been doing part inspections for the last 25 years. So they've helped us to build out these machines that can ingest up to 1,000 parts per day. So that can help us to scale really quickly our parts database. And just to kind of give you a back-end view of what's going on with our extraction algorithms, this video can show you exactly what's going on in the back end. We are literally creating a digital fingerprint for each part that we put into our system and using that fingerprint to match with something in our database. So that helps us to get very high accuracy and make sure that it's a super simple process for our customers. It's kind of all this complicated stuff going on in the background, but it looks like magic to the people who are using our app. And we have patented this process. We filed 2 patents so far, one on the extraction methods that I've spoke about before, and the second on the machine. So we feel very confident about our competitive advantage as it relates to the recognition and the scaling of the database. So just to give you an example of how we plan to go to market, this is actually a mock-up that we did during a hackathon for Sears. And what you can see here is that for any retailer that's selling parts, we can actually be on their website as a way for their customers to initiate their search. So instead of you having to have a part name or number, you can simply upload a photo either to the website or to a mobile app or even an in-store kiosk. And our technology will power that search for you. So our customers are the manufacturers, retailers, and distributors who sell parts. We are starting focused in the fastener space, but we understand that this technology can be applied across industries such as automotive, electrical, and plumbing. So again, focus in the $122 billion maintenance, repair, and operational space, which serves 22 million industry customers. And just to reiterate, this is a huge space, $122 billion for MRO, $49 billion for plumbing, huge space in automotive, so we feel that there's a ton of different use cases for our technology. And again, global opportunity. We're from Atlanta. Well, I'm from Nashville, so happy to be here. But Partpic is based in Atlanta, but we know that we can scale this opportunity out globally. And we are charging an annual fee for the licensed technology as well as an initial fee for the part ingestion process. So So thank you so much, and happy to take your questions.
Outstanding. Wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, Partpic. All right, guys. Now you're on the clock. You got 3 minutes.
Okay, so you're focusing on the fastener space, but the greater market's 122 billion. How big is the fastener space?
No, sorry, the fastener space is 122 billion. The greater market is upwards of $1 trillion for all replacement parts across automotive, plumbing, electrical, et cetera.
So I actually recently just replaced a faucet and took a picture of it and sent it in, and they were able to send me back, the specs of it. Are there competitors out there that are addressing this same problem, or what are the competitive forces?
Sure. So we look at competition as there are visual search applications that are out there, such as CamFind or Clarify, but they're trying to address a broad set of objects, not necessarily parts. And if you take a picture, let's just say with CamFind, of a screw, it will tell you that it's a screw. That's it. It won't give you any specific information about it. So the way we differentiate ourselves is that we are able to actually measure exactly what the part is and give you to the T what the part is, including the part name and number. In the case where you send the picture in, that's the current process that that's our competition, essentially, is that, for example, at MasterCard, we would sometimes allow a customer to send a part image in, but that would disrupt the whole flow. So in a company where efficiency is king, it's not a part of their current process to accept images, and so we are presenting ourselves as the way that they can do that.
In terms of traction, what was your revenue run rate last month, and what was your margin on that? And can you share also how you've been able to sign up distributors and other customers thus far?
Sure. So I should mention that we just got to the point that we can actually sell to customers. So we just signed on our first few paying customers, Zander Fastener and Western Builder Supply, who are also investors in our seed round, which we just closed last week. So we're still very, very new, just getting to revenue. So we don't have last month's, because we just got it in this month. But we are expecting to get to about $1 million by this time next year.
Joe, how do you think your revenues are going to split among sort of the manufacturers being licensed, the B2B side, and some of the other channels that you were looking at selling through?
Sure. So we do have two different models that we're testing out now. And the first one is the licensing play that I described, which will be for the larger corporations, where we are licensing our technology to them to embed inside their mobile apps, on their websites, and even in store. Then there's a second model that's for the kind of longer tail of companies, where we will just charge them on a per search basis to put our technology onto their websites. So based on what we know now and based on the incoming interest we've had about 45 of these customers sign up on our website to try Partpic. We actually have seen more of an interest with the larger companies. So I won't name drop, but some of the larger companies have expressed more of an interest. So we think that that's going to be kind of the way that we really make the most of our money. But because we want to have a revenue model that's more of a plug and play, we are also advertising to the smaller guys to just embed the technology onto their websites.
All right, thank you guys very much. Great work. Good job. Hand those off to the next group. What do you guys think? Feel good? Is that a good first one? You feel good about that? A good start, right? Come on, Paul, you're looking at me like crazy.
Henry, if there was beer or whiskey up here, we'd make this much more entertaining.
It would make it more entertaining. Next up, Pricewaiter. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Pricewaiter. All right, guys, you got 5 minutes.
Okay, got it.
That guy wins.
Good afternoon. My name is Stephen Culp. This is Andrew Scarborough. We're representing Chattanooga-based Pricewaiter. Pricewaiter makes buying and selling better. We start with negotiation, making it fast, simple, and private for any retailer's site, anywhere on the web. The opportunity is big. The internet is the most efficient market in history. In fact, so efficient that it essentially freaks retailers out because they're unable to control or stem the tide of loss of customers, loss of margin, and I'm talking to these guys while they're all drinking beer, and I hope they're listening. And ultimately, loss of brand
We'll be
equity.
much more attentive now.
Yeah, okay, I appreciate it. Loss of brand equity. It's a big market. There are millions of these retailers, and what they are faced with is hyper-efficient mechanisms like comparison shopping, third-party seller sites, and dynamic pricing. And that's what leads to that loss of margin, loss of customer, loss of brand equity. There are millions of these retailers, and in fact, more than 1 million are on the platforms that Pricewaiter's already partnered with. They're selling goods and services up to and more than $1 trillion worth, and spending hundreds of millions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars on advertising revenue. Pricewaiter's model is based on transaction volume and ultimately web footprint and the data that comes from both. And from the traction that we've gotten, which is adding hundreds of retailers and at an accelerating pace, we've seen the market actually includes more retailers, more types of retailers, more types of products, more price points than you or we even would have expected. And given that, we think we've got ourselves a pretty big opportunity. And I haven't even mentioned the consumer base, which is growing fast. And suffice to say, we save a lot of customers a lot of money, and there's both a tangible and psychological element to that that we think can be monetized.
So those consumers, those shoppers that Stephen mentioned, they are first met with Pricewaiter, our product, on these retailers' sites in a distributed fashion. So you see there below the price, there's a call to action, make an offer. That's one of our many calls to action, but we started with negotiation and have seen over $10.5 million in transactions on sites like BeyondStores.com, who has done over $3 million in additional revenue by letting people name their price, where customers can see an immediate response of an acceptance or a counteroffer. So those virtual showrooming users are able to engage informally and privately, which is very important when products are governed by minimum advertised pricing, and efficiently save money. So this is a benefit to both the retailer and the shopper. The retailer is converting more traffic, and that volume is on their terms. Yes, they are giving up some margin in the negotiation, but overall they are making more money. It's saving time for both sides, and also those users are saving money, as you see in that tweet, where people are very excited about the ability to very quickly save money. As I mentioned, Beyond Stores is one example. We had no idea who they were before they signed up after seeing some coverage about Pricewaiter. They've done over $3 million through the site, and they would tell you that's incremental revenue to their fast-growing home goods site. They're converting 1 in 4 of these offers into a completed transaction and generating leads at an increasing rate where their engagement numbers are up 20%. As we look at some of these up and to the right graphs, it's important to note where that comes from. So I mentioned $10.5 million in additional revenue. That's from over 20,000 in orders. Those consumers have saved $1.5 million, and there's over 85,000 of people who have named their price on goods. As we see here with some of these graphs, how have we done that? A lot of it has been through partnerships with e-commerce platforms, app stores similar to what you have on your phone, but for e-commerce sites, who can very efficiently install this and start selling more through various calls to action. Where we started was with negotiation. But that's only the beginning. Last week at the Internet Retailer Conference, we announced more campaigns to help these retailers convert more traffic and shoppers to be able to buy on their personalized terms, whether that be negotiation or volume pricing or other calls to action. And really that's just the start, as this data that we have of who is shopping where, what they're looking at, what they're willing to pay is very useful both for those retailers and in aggregate, and that's one area that we plan to move into.
Ultimately, this comes back down to the team, and whether you're looking at the 10 of us who are fighting on the ground, or our advisors, or our investors, we draw from a deep well of expertise in e-commerce, sales, conversion optimization, high growth, and even big exits. So when we look at our market, we look at our product, we look at our traction, we believe we're onto something big. When I look at our team, I believe we can nail it. Whether you're an investor, an advisor, a partner, or a friend, I hope you'll join us. Thank you.
Great job. Great job. Thank you, guys. All right, well, you got your booze. Now you guys lead your Q&A. You got 3 minutes.
So first
Shots.
question is, what can you tell us about the size of the retailer that you're focused on now, just in terms of acquisition? I mean, is it like a Target or these kind of small business?
Yeah, so we started with on the smaller side, so that long tail. A lot of our partnerships with the e-commerce platforms were with more of the ones that were in that $3 to $30 million range. And we'd have plenty that were on either side of that range. Some of the mom and pops who can just click to sign up and are selling more on their small $500,000 a year site. But really, we started with that core and didn't go past that, and really tried to stay focused to build out those enterprise features like automation, like bringing in cost data and inventory data for those enterprise sites. And with our partnerships, we've yet to go to a lot of the more enterprise platforms that we have plans for that reason, to make sure that the product is enterprise ready.
How do you guys price the solution?
I'm sorry, what's the question?
How do you price it?
How do we price it? So we have a freemium model. There's a core suite of very attractive features that we kind of get retailers addicted to, and then we offer a premium suite of features that include things like time-binding offers, full automation, and exit offers type technology to grab somebody, a retailer or a customer that might be leaving a site to do some comparison shopping. And that is based on pricing anywhere from 2.9% to 1.4% of transaction volume.
You talked about the full automation. I would think that this increases the manual interaction that a site has to have with its customers. Can you talk a little bit about the automated solution, or is there actually somebody on the other side that's going back and forth? And does the site have to hire somebody to fill that position?
Yeah, the short answer is we let the retailer decide what's best for them. As former retailers, that flexibility and control is important. So if they want to touch and feel these offers, they've got a very complex product, or there are going to be questions, they can manually review those. But another retailer that may be pushing a higher volume can automate the entire process and say, I want to maintain at least 30% gross profit margins, or I don't want to give anything outside of 15% discount. We can use criteria like that and inventory to help them do that very efficiently at scale.
There's another element to that question, and that is you're asking about, does this take retailers extra time or busy them up? They welcome this. If we've built this well, they welcome this, because what we're trying to stem, as I mentioned earlier, is that tide of comparison shoppers who retailers pay to get on their site. They pay for beautiful, wonderful, informative content on their site, and then that shopper is one click away, a nanosecond away from buying on somebody else's site. They lose that margin, they lose that customer. So if we can get them to engage, whether it's a fully automated process or something manual, then we have started a successful process for that retailer. And from the feedback we've gotten, it's gold.
How is your freemium to premium conversion?
How's the freemium and premium conversion? You mean how going from? So we have a couple of hundred active retailers right now. We turned on premium a couple of months ago, or a few months ago, and we've got 40 of them signed up.
Can you guys real quickly address competition? Priceline's been around for a long, long time, active user of that. Why has that not infiltrated down to the retail level?
So our competition right now I would characterize as destination sites or somebody who's trying to do what we're doing. So I'll mention two companies. Green Toe is a destination site, meaning you come to their site and they theoretically have every product in the world that you can bid on. Okay, so you can start to see the flaws. We respect them, but we considered that model and didn't go that way for two reasons. One, you've got to pay to get that traffic to your destination site. We are a distributed model. We're all across the web. Number two, you've got to have every product in the world if you want to have a satisfying experience for that customer. If they look for a particular Nikon camera model and they don't have it, you're not coming back.
Great. Thank you guys very much. All right, everybody. Pricewaiter. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Yep. All right, I'm going to give you guys just a moment to add up your scores. I don't know how everybody's feeling on math, if you're rusty on that or not, but you want to take a few moments and just knock that out. All right, so we're going to have our last presenter come up. He is not at all nervous, and I'm not screwing him up by saying this one bit. He hasn't been pacing backstage whatsoever. He's really excited, super chill, and creeping over my shoulder right now. Ladies and gentlemen, RootsRated.
Hello. I actually am really nervous, so I don't know where that came from. But my name is Fynn Glover. I'm the CEO and founder of RootsRated. And RootsRated is a platform that connects people to original content about the best outdoor experiences all over the country. We curate our information by working with local experts that we establish through amazing outdoor retailers. Retailers in Nashville like Cumberland Transit and Rock Creek in Chattanooga. Our business model is sponsored content and content licensing software, and we're in the process of raising a $2 million Series A round. So our story starts with an informational problem. There are 141 million Americans that make outdoor recreation a priority in their daily lives, and yet the information about where to go outdoors and what to do outdoors online is immensely fragmented. When you go online and search for best hiking in San Francisco today, this is the first result. San Francisco has some of the best hiking on the planet. If you can figure out which red pin to click into, you'll find that the information hasn't been updated since 2005. This is happening all over the world. There are thousands of local blogs like this that have not ever been updated, speaking to the opportunity to consolidate this information professionally. There are crowdsourced applications trying to solve the problem. There are old government websites. It's just not happening. This problem for the user is tangential to a problem going on for the marketers in this industry, who are under increasing pressure to create engaging content rather than spend their marketing budgets on interrupted banner advertisements. The problem for a marketer at an outdoor retailer or an outdoor brand is that they are not publishers. Traditionally, they have sold product. They have not created content to engage audiences through accessible experiences. This is a content pyramid created by YouTube, and I use it in all my sales decks. But it's important because what outdoor marketers are very good at is paying agencies $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 to create extremely aspirational videos of expert skiers dropping into the back passes of the Tetons, or climbing up Everest in the middle of a snowstorm. What they're extremely bad at is creating articles that would help you find amazing hiking or stand-up paddleboarding today in Nashville. That's what we're building. We're building a library of the best outdoor experiences all over the country according to local experts. From the best stand-up paddleboarding in Puget Sound, to the best hiking in the Wind River Range, to the best trail running in Chattanooga, Tennessee. We're licensing this content to major brands and retailers and visitors bureaus and agencies and even healthcare all over the country. Basically, the platform works like this. Let's take a brand like Marmot. Marmot can log into our dashboard. Let's say they want to talk to people in Chattanooga, trail runners in Chattanooga. They can select an article about trail running in Chattanooga, integrate it into their web pages, their social posts, their emails, automate that distribution to a local market, and watch the return on investment. Watch it generate leads, watch it convert sales, and watch it drive brand awareness in a way that is much more authentic and in a way that is much more personal and relevant to the local audience. These are our customers today. We're working with the biggest brands and best retailers in the industry. Our network of retailers is about 35 strong right now, and we've got early adopters in the healthcare and travel space, such as the Utah Office of Tourism, and as of last week, a company in North Carolina called Ortho Carolina. They're an orthopedics company. B2C, and what I mean by that, I mean creating a large audience, has not been our focus. Our focus has been on creating excellent content and figuring out a way to sell it and license it to this industry. But through the creation of excellent content, we've watched consumers validate everything we're doing. Over the last 18 months, 18 months ago, we started with 0 content and 0 traffic, and in the last 18 months, we've gone to 5,000 created articles, 250,000 monthly unique visits, over 600,000 page views a month, and 50,000 registered users. And our revenue this year through one salesperson is $500,000. Our team has made an impressive impact in this industry very quickly. We've got a team of 3 engineers, 5 editors, managing 50 writers all over the country, 2 on the marketing side and 1 on the sales side. And our editorial team is managing 50 writers. I think I said that. Whoops, sorry. And we've put together a group of investors and advisors that is essentially world-class. These guys on the screen are amongst the most influential people in the industry. I want to speak to a few of them. Greg Williams joined our board last month. He's a partner at the outdoor industry's biggest agency, Backbone Media in Aspen. They represent 65 clients, and they invested in RootsRated's last round to onboard all of their 65 clients onto our platform in 2016. Gordon Seabury is the chairman of the Outdoor Industry Association. Steve Barker is the current president of the Outdoor Industry Association. and Mark Martin is the CEO of Marmot, which is the third biggest apparel brand in the industry. Our plan is to make our B2B content licensing marketing a $25 million business over the next 4 years. Importantly to note, all the content that we create, we own in perpetuity. And by going B2B first, we back our way into a consumer-facing opportunity as well. We're raising $2 million to capture North American market leadership in this space, and we plan to use the funds to grow from $500,000 in revenue this year to $2 million in annual recurring revenue in 2016, expand to 150 cities in 2017, and expand our engineering team from 3 engineers to 8 engineers and 5 editors to 11 editors. Thanks so much.
Great job. Great job. Outstanding. Great work. All right, guys, last round.
So I'll start with a really quick question. You said that you're going to grow this to be about $25 million, you think, ultimately. What market share will that be? So how big is the market? And if 25 million represents your sort of revenue target, how big of a share will you own of the market?
We think the addressable market in outdoor travel and healthcare for content licensing is about a $500 million market.
How do you scalably create the content? And can you talk about how you provide incentives to your content creators?
Yeah, it's a great question. That's the key to our business. Right now, we pay all of our content creators. As we scale, what we will do is 3 things. It will continue to be a component of paid editorial. It will be a component of user-generated edited. So I have about 20 writers email me every day asking to contribute and actually submitting content for free. And then it will also be programmatic in the sense that we can create content with less editorial touch. So for example, if I have a database of, let's say, 10 articles about 10 hikes in Chattanooga, I can turn that into an article called The Top 10 Hikes of Chattanooga with a lighter editorial touch through our programmatic software.
And have you thought about what $1 of content creation yields you in terms of revenue?
The way we've thought about the unit economics of content, we have basically 2 forms of articles that we write. One would be an article about a specific trailhead. That costs us anywhere from $40 to $50 to write, typically. We also create stories about the outdoor lifestyle in cities around the country. Those stories cost us anywhere from $125 to $250. So what we want to do is we want to have a 10x return on every piece of content that we write. Because the content we create is essentially evergreen, and we can license it to multiple partners and have it repurposed and reused by multiple different paying customers.
I think you said this, and I just missed it. The slide where you had the logos of the partners. Explain to me the financial relationship with those partners.
Those brands have been sponsoring content production in cities around the country, and like anywhere from a $15,000 to $60,000 deal typically. And so what we're looking at as we move into this next sales cycle is a recurring revenue model in which a brand is paying anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000 a month.
So give an example of one of the deployments.
So like Marmot has paid us, let's say $30,000 this year to sponsor two cities. So they're paying $15,000 a year for a city. And what they've come to us and said is, in the next iteration of this product, what we'd like to be able to do is talk to more than 2 cities. And that's the impetus for this content licensing model, where they can license content from 15 cities at a different rate.
All right. Oh, do you have one more?
One last. We didn't hear you say anything about display advertising, Fynn. How does that kind of fit in there? Why not kind of flip it and do more just plain display advertising?
Yeah, so I think the opportunity long term is that by creating all of this information, we will grow a large audience. And at that point, we'll layer in ways to monetize that audience. I don't know if it's going to be anything like CPC-based advertising. I doubt it will. I think it will play some level of sponsored content, but also layering in market dynamics like affiliate or even kind of product sales in our own platform.
Wonderful. All right, thank you very much. Outstanding. I can give those to Dan back there.
And the judges have deliberated. The rest of the judges are out here, I guess. Thank the judges and thank the speakers. And the winner of the $36,000 is Partpic. So come on up front, if you will, Jewel. Jewel, you killed it. We saw you in Atlanta. You killed it. You did a great job today throughout the last 2 days. So welcome and congrats.
Thank you so much to Launch Tennessee 3686, to my family that came to support me. Thank you so much, everyone, all my friends and everyone from Atlanta. So excited for this. This is awesome. Thank you.
All right, and with that, we thank you for being here and wish you safe travels as you head back home. We'll see you next year.